Hello everyone, my name is Bangboomme and welcome back to another episode of BlockSMP Season 4. There were several episodes, there were a couple episodes that got recorded that I ended up scrapping. And we're just going to pretend that I just did all that work off camera and stuff, and I totally didn't record any other episodes. What are you talking about? I don't know what you're saying. Anyway, yes, we got another portal and a bunch of decorations around here. I was trying to fill up the area. We got palms, some cactus. Over here we have a kelp farm, which I've been trying to get a lot of kelp for to fill that thing, and it keeps not working, and that thing just keeps a pain. But it is what it is. It's fine. And then a really slow chicken farm, which is fine. I didn't really think I needed that, but everyone always has a sugarcane farm, so I just made it anyway. It's really slow. It'll be fine. And then, more importantly, we got in here a conference room. We can keep an eye on this guy over there. We got a nice little map showing off the two areas. I gotta keep an eye on all that stuff. We got a good thing over here. We got him, and he's an eye on that guy. Stick all our plans and everything scattered around, and then upstairs we got just a couple small tactical rockets that we could launch at his base if we ever need to. And we got this good soldier here, just keeping an eye over there. If anything goes wrong, I can just call him up and tell him to launch nukes, and also we have a cannon. Also, we built a lighthouse on top of that, which is very tall, very small, but it's very good in comparison to the rock. The rock's very small too, so it looks very good. We now have this place entirely built up. Actually, I think I should also mention the wall. I don't know if the wall was built. I built the wall a really long time ago. I'm not sure if that actually made it to the video that released or not. Yeah, we built a big old wall all the way around here, and got some what's this type of stuff? Frog lamps of the orange variety. Yes, very scientific term. So we built a giant wall, got a nice little gate. We're probably thinking of probably trying to get some kind of path from here over to the shops over there. But since we have this place all filled up, we can now start looking to move out of here and go off and make, a nice big massive area for ourselves where we can start making our mega base, whatever the heck that's going to be. Ow. But before we do that, I do want to get to work on a couple more farms. There's just some things that everyone should have, like a fish farm, like a ink farm, and iron farms and raid farms. I've died so many times just trying to get materials together, just doing whatever, and I just fall into lava and boom, I'm dead. Totems of Undying are a absolute necessity. So we're gonna go off and start working on some of those farms today, I think, before once we get them all done, then we can go off and start working on like an actual big mega base. But before we do that, we should probably go check our shops. Now, given the amount of time that I've spent not being on here, I would assume that everything has sold out in its entirety. So let us check. Oh, 8 diamonds. Kind of sad because like every single sugar box in here should have sold, but like okay, whatever. No elytra. Cool. And just not a lot. But oh well, we'll take it. We'll be perfectly fine with that. Also, yes, as you could see, I started working on organizing my ender chest. Still got a whole bunch to fill out, and I will work on those later, but yeah, got that done. Anyway, it's time for us to get to work on something to do today. I think the one that I want to do today, the farm that I want to build, is an iron farm because iron is just such a necessary resource. It is ridiculous and a pain to get all the iron that I need. So I think what I want to do is go off and build an iron farm somewhere. So let me fly around for a little bit, figure out where I want to build it. You have nothing I am interested in, sir. Please die. Thank you. Die. Die. Thank you. Alright, so I have now found this island. I just kind of flew off. Our base is over there somewhere-ish. And it's kind of big for, just a small little iron farm. So I'm expecting that we're probably just going to build other stuff over here, kind of other things. So I can AFK. I think could probably cut out that side so it's just water over there so mobs can't spawn. And then over here, like I could probably AFK cover the whole island. So we could put up several farms over here just to make, you know, things more efficient. But yeah, I think I'm going to build an iron farm over here. The first thing to do, of course, is to get villagers over here and get them to start breeding up. So we're going to need to go back over there and bring out a couple of villagers over here and get a whole many beds. Here's a single sand block. That irritates me. Why is there just one sand block right here? Be gone, sand block. Well, we got our villagers over here, and appears that 2 of them growed up. They were all babies when I got them from the breeder. So we sleep real quick. One of them connect that, so I was in a new village. We'll drop down a loom for this guy. And we want beds. We're just going to mass level him up because I have more than enough emeralds to spare. Just like so. And now I suppose I can... I'll keep you in your boat. For now, I think it's probably safer for you to be here. And now I just need to get to work on actually like decorating this or like cleaning up this island a little bit, get rid of all the trees. Probably gonna measure out how big the actual iron farm needs to be around here and remove most of this area over here, I think. So let me do all that. I will be right back. Alright, I have done a little bit of work. We got that side completely cleared off. Got this side kind of looking like some kind of weird puzzle of that and sand. Grass and sand, that's what the word is. But it's mostly just because I don't know what I want to do with this area. I don't know if I want to go with the sand look that I have over at the base or if I want to start changing it up and do something different. So I just put a sand for now. The iron farm will sit like right here on the sand patch just so it is all one type of block underneath it because I feel weirded out if it's not. So now we need to just figure out how everything is going to be and... Whoa. What was that? That was strange. Anyway, yeah, so we need to figure out what we're going to build this thing out of now and like get the dimensions and stuff. By the way, link to a tutorial down in the description. And yeah, once I get some blocks together, I'll be right back, I suppose. That was weird. I wonder what the heck that was. Well, it seems that I've made a slight bit of a mob farm, so I'm gonna need to get some kind of lighting to get rid of all of that. But we've got it all in. I decided I'd just go with white concrete because it's just nice and simple. And... Whoa.
And the floor is now made out of white concrete powder.
Whoa.
Sea lanterns are in, and that's still gone. So
What?
over somewhere else and figure out how to uncorrupt you. Yes, that's exactly what.
Wait, huh?
And we decided to go off and work in the lab and start building all the fancy kinds of machines and weapons that we've been planning to build.
Whoa. Ow. Ugh. What just happened? I'm gonna finish this thing. Ah, my head hurts. I'll be right back. I'll get this thing mostly done or... Ow. Oh, the heck. Alright, and now we've got this platform all properly set up. We got the lavas, we got the things and all the hoppers and stuff down below to put all the things there. I can't click there. Okay, whatever. So now all I have to do is place in all these idiots. And I anticipate this is going to be highly painful and I'm going to hate doing this. So maybe we should do a first person time lapse of me trying to move all the villagers into place properly because it's going to drive me crazy. So yeah. Enjoy my insanity. And I think that should be this thing entirely done. This iron farm was probably the sloppiest iron farm that I've ever made in all my lifetime of making iron farms and dealing with villagers ever. I messed up so much. So many mistakes happened. So many silly little things went wrong. But I think, hopefully, this guy? Yes. Yes, it is working. Okay, so we got guys spawning on that side and guys spawning on this side. I believe that's exactly what it should be doing. So I will assume that this thing is done correctly. That looks very good, very fast. Iron Golem spawn rate and everything. That looks very most excellent. Now I just need to make the storage system reasonable so I can actually reach it. But oh my goodness, this has been a complete and utter disaster. And I am happy that it is done and I don't have to deal with villagers anymore. All I have to do is clean up all my mess, all that portal, and yeah, then we got to figure out what we're going to do with the rest of this big old island we got over here. And in the time that we've spent building this and, double taking and just getting everything down, we've made, what is it, slightly over 4 stacks of iron. That is very, very excellent indeed. A couple hours of AFK here, and we should have no more concerns about iron for the rest of the season. And since I'm feeling rather lazy, that ought to do just fine. Well, with the iron farm finished, we've now got an interesting conundrum, because I'm pretty sure, if I'm understanding how this thing works properly, I'm pretty sure that we can't have like any floors underneath here really. Like I think this has to be exactly as high as it is off the ground, so golems only spawn up there and they don't spawn on the ground. Could be mistaken on that, but I don't want to risk experimenting, let's say, and finding out that I just messed everything up. We'll just go really simple and we'll bring down like white concrete walls all the way just straight down to the ground, and then later on we can go through and figure out how we can detail them up a little bit. And I'm thinking mostly the detailing of that will just be we build other bigger things around it and hope that people don't notice the flat white wall behind it. Because that sounds like the easy way out. So I'm going to make a stupid amount of white concrete. I don't have any bones, do I? I'm going to go bone collecting. And then I'll make a stupid amount of white concrete. And then I'll put in the walls. And then I'll be right back. I don't actually think this flat white wall looks all that bad, honestly. I think it looks perfectly okay for now, especially knowing that we're gonna put more stuff in front of it and try and decorate it a little bit in the future. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. But what I'm gonna do right now, because it's bedtime for IRL bang, so I'm gonna go off and go to sleep, and I'm going to leave other me with Bob. Hey, yes, I know. It was on purpose. Josh, don't worry about it. I'm going to come inside here and AFK, and we'll come back in time. And it's just about 12 hours later, and I can hear golems dying. So that sounds very good. Let's see, how much did we get over? Oh my goodness. Oh, yes. Many. That's what I'd like to see. Let's turn that into blocks real quick and see just exactly how much we got. And with everything all cleaned out of all of the chests, except that new golem that just died right there, we've ended up with 12 stacks and 20 blocks of iron. That is so much more iron than like I'm probably ever going to use if I just turned it into hoppers and rails and all that. Of course, if I start building out of it, it'll go really quick. But yeah, that is a stupid amount of iron. This thing works very well. Now it's time to turn our consideration to what we're going to do with the rest of this island. Alright, so I've done a little bit of planning. I've covered up a lot of the... Fly? There we go. That was weird. Anyway, yeah, I've done a little bit of planning. I've covered the place with a bunch of random white blocks all over. So what I'm thinking we'll do is right here, we'll have a small little passive mob farm, which means that I'm not going to be able to have any... Oh, yeah, hi. I got this thing. from Sonic. It's delightful, it's amazing, and I shall just have it at all times because, you know, hashtag blame base. Anyway, yeah, so passive mob farm over here, which means we're going to have to remove all of the sand, all of the grass. It's going to have the ground here is going to have to be made out of something else because any turtles or other passive mobs that spawn will absolutely murder this farm. Here, we're going to have a nether portal, and then around here, we're going to have a scattering of a bunch of smaller farms. I'm thinking we'll have a second sugarcane farm. We did build the one over by in the base, but having one here at a place where I'm actually going to AFK would probably be helpful. We'll have a sea pickle farm, a flower farm, a cocoa bean farm, just a bunch of really small little farms I can squeeze on this island here. And then this right here is going to be the AFK spots because from right here, we take you down, set you up here. We stand right there, then this thing is perfectly within range, and all the mobs that spawn here will be able to be killed effectively. So yeah, this is the plan for now, all the things that we're going to do on this island. What I think I'm going to do first is work on the passive mob farm over here. That's the rail system in place, and now the magma blocks are all in place. And that's the passive mob farm entirely done and finished. It should be fully lit up so no hostile mobs can spawn, and then all passives will spawn. Eventually they will fall down magma blocks. It'll be a little bit slower, and yes, I know it's more efficient to do coral fans, and they'll fall off faster because they won't be trapped for hitbox, blah blah blah. I know that. I'm just using trapdoors because I don't care about going out and mining coral fans. They are such a pain to gather. No. Maybe if we build some kind of bigger scale farm, we'll do actual coral fans. But for here, it's just something small, something passive, not really supposed to get a lot. I don't need a lot for passive mob farm. Like what? Feathers so I can write books? But what I've been thinking about is we need to obviously get rid of all the sand and all the grass, so passive mobs will actually only spawn over here because, you know, when it takes spawning over here, then that's stuff that won't be spawning over there. And what I'm thinking is instead of just re-terraform, like just putting a new block down on the ground everywhere, we just get rid of all the ground and everything is just flooded, essentially, I suppose. Like there's just water everywhere except where the buildings are, so it looks like the buildings are just poking out of the water, like they're just rising up from the shallower ground over here, I suppose. And then we'll have some kind of little walkways around. I'm not sure if that's going to be concrete or maybe we'll go with wood here kind of vibe. But yeah, we'll just have just water, so I can start removing like sand right here and just start seeing how it looks between this building and this one. And then I think I'll put the nether portal in, and we'll probably end the episode there. And next episode, we'll get to work on getting the rest of those stuff in. So, let me just real quickly rip out the sand right here and just kind of see how the water looks, see what I think about it, and I'll be right back. And yes, the water has all been removed, or not the water's been added. The ground has all been removed from all over the place. And so now there are only a couple of scattered blocks, which don't look like they make any sense, and our two farms that we've built here. I think I like the way this looks, though. Just the buildings just popping up from the water. I think it looks pretty cool. I think this is exactly what I want to go for. And so now anywhere that has, like, ground that's pretty flat, like right there underneath the ground, or right underneath the water, we can put another building if we want to, if we have a small enough building that will fit there. And then we can add in some little walkways around just to provide a way to get between places, to get to all the storage systems and everything. There we go. We've got that in. We've got a little pathway here set up, a nice little portal, and I really like this. I am really happy with how this looks good. But I think this looks so much better than I was like originally had in mind when it was just going to be an island and with stuff on it. So I'm really happy that I decided to go with this way. Portal links up properly. Little pathway works well. The AFK spot should be entirely safe. If I go inside of here, it's lit up, and I don't think anything should be able to get to me in here. I'm really happy with how this has turned out so far. I'm really happy with the way it looks at night, especially with the little, it's almost perfectly lit up except for the random random little blocks around here, and of course drowns. But other than that, nothing will spawn around here. And yeah, I'm really happy with all that we've got done this episode. We built an iron farm, we built a maybe passive mob farm, got this place started, and just started a new little project over here. It's very delightful. And we got #Blaze, so like what else could be done to make this a better episode? Anyway, with all that said, I would just like to say thank you all ever so much for watching this video. It really does mean a lot to me, so leave a like if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you want to catch more videos from me in the future. And with that said, I'll see all of you all hopefully in the next episode. So, God bless, have a fantastic day, and goodbye!